hours, the magic number of greatness. Taking pathway from persuasive influence. And with the time, 5 to 7 minutes, and the evaluator will be Elios Theophilos Kandawijaya. Elios, perhaps you can explain the purpose statement of this project. Will you please?
Thank you, Tom. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our first speaker, which is Toastmaster Titin. And I have received from her that she is going to deliver the very first speech after ice breaking. So, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on anything, receive feedback, and apply the feedback. And also, the purpose of this speech is for the member to receive a feedback from the evaluator. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give big applause for her with the title, Rule of 10,000 Hours, the Magic Number of Greatness, TM Titin. TM Titin, Rule of 10,000 Hours, the Magic Number of Greatness.
Excuse me, Titin, before you start, let me give you a bit of introductions. That Titin joined Toastmasters about 3 months ago, right? And I noticed that Titin has been visiting so many clubs, including Empire Toastmasters, and we are lucky Titin has chosen us. Currently, during this pandemic, Titin has made more free time, which is why she makes full use of her free time for learning. Otherwise, she would be very, very busy before COVID. She graduated from a business school, and after graduation, she became a lecturer. Despite her busy schedule, she has time to run a business selling souvenirs for kids. And she's also running a kids learning session, centers, and at the same time giving English and Chinese tuition to children. Okay, Titin, it's all yours now.
Thank you very much for your introduction, BTM Arlan. Please let me pin the timer for a while. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Let me ask you a question. What does it take to become an expert in a particular field? I have your idea, please. You may type your answer on the chat box below. Well, I believe that all of us would agree that the answer is practice, practice, and practice. That's why the rule of 10,000 hours of practice was born. It is the rule of thumb as popularized by Malcolm Gladwell. He conducted an experiment with violin students at Berlin University. And it turned out that those students who have put in the 10,000 hours of practice became experts in playing violin. However, not everyone starts from the same place and in the same time. Now, the first question will be, is it the amount of hours, is it the quantity of time that we put into the practice that matters the most, or is it the quality of the practice that will benefit us and help us to achieve our goal or target? I believe that not all practices are equally helpful. We need to have deliberate practice so that we can be better than our version yesterday. Besides the practice, we also need the feedback or the evaluation, as what we are doing here in Toastmasters. After we get the feedback, the evaluation, we need to pay attention to the content of the feedback. We need to find we need to identify our weaknesses and we need to work to correct them. Well, we might need to push ourselves out from the comfort zone when we identify our weaknesses. And we may realize that not every practice leads to improved ability. If we just do the mechanical repetitions, then I do not think that it will help us and benefit us to achieve our target. That is to become better than our yesterday's version. We need to be guided by our mentor. The mentor is someone with an expert eye. They can help us to spot our blind spot. They provide us advice, valuable advice, and feedback so that we can focus on our goals. So it is not merely the number of hours that we put into the practice, but it should be the deliberate practice, the one with target, with the goal. Besides the mentor, we also need to surround ourselves with the supportive community. They will help us in difficult times and they will celebrate with us in happy time. Now, how about the starting time? Cognitive psychologist Fernand Bober and Guillermo Campitelli once had an experiment with chess players. It turned out that those chess players who started earlier, they got better results than those chess players who started later. So besides the quality practice, the feedback, our willingness to pay attention to the content of the evaluation and the feedback, the mentor, valuable advices from the mentor, our good community, the starting time, the genetic, and the talent all combined together to help us and benefit us, to help us to achieve our target. And one more thing is the emotion. We need to set the ideal learning condition. That will mean that we need to have silent place to learn something new. Some people, they might prefer to learn in a silent place, while for the others, they might think that it is just okay to learn in crowded places. And for the time, besides the place, we have the time. Some people, the night owls especially, they prefer to learn at night time, while the others might prefer to learn in the morning time. For the mental practice, maybe not everyone are aware that mental practices, they will provide powerful and effective results. How to have this, how to keep practice and practicing. We need to have sustainable motivation. Without the sustainable motivation, we will lose our focus to achieve our goal. So to conclude, it is not the number of hours that we put into the practice, but we should have the quality practice that we can benefit and help us to improve. It is not only repeating the mediocre quality work. That's all from me. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the meeting.
I was still muted. Thank you, Toastmaster Titin. It was a very insightful speech. What is this? Yes, I think I agree. I agree with you that we need 10,000, but not only that, we need still quality training or practice and also motivations. It's very true. Not only 10,000 hours, but also the quality and the motivations. Yeah. Now, our next speaker will be Ronawati Wongso, Toastmasters. And let me give you a bit of her background. Ronawati is the CEO and founder of Rantai Breakthrough Consulting. What sound is that? A business consultant specializing in profit optimization and company turnaround. So if your company is running at a big loss, you can consult with Toastmaster Ronawati to turn it around to a profit-making company. Toastmaster Ronawati has years of experience and 20 years as a CFO in various industries, including Maspion, which is the most famous one in Surabaya. She's also an author of a book under the title of Company Makeover for Massive Profits. This is the one. I've read this book. It's a very good book. I think you should read one. And today, she is going to deliver a speech from engaging humor. So, gotta be very funny about it. And the title of her speech is All You Can Eat. This is 5 to 7 minutes, and it will be evaluated by Surya Wahyudi Yanto. So Surya, perhaps you would like to explain her purpose statement.
Okay, thank you, Pak Erlan Setiawan, Mr. Tom. Okay, the purpose of this project is to begin developing a collection of humorous stories and to present a speech that includes humor. I think that's all, Mr. Tom.
Yes. So Master Rona is all yours.
Okay, so the spotlight, please. All you can eat. Wow, my mouth is watering. And I prepare my stomach not to eat the whole day, so I can get value for money at an all-you-can-eat restaurant. How many of you do the same thing? Please raise your hands. Don't be shy. I'm sure many of you think the same thing. My family and my mother-in-law spent 6 weeks vacation in Surfers Paradise near Brisbane, Australia. We rented an apartment by the sea. So we had a view from our living room, kitchen, and bedroom. Very beautiful view. And during the day, my children went to play on the beach across the street. My 3 children, aged 4 to 9 years old, and were at a growing phase. It was the best vacation ever, as we spent our time as local. We rented a car and take our sweet time to explore the area. We often pass by this downtown and saw a pancake restaurant. It says, all you can eat. My children were in a growing phase and ate a lot, and their mouth was watering. And they were pestering and begging us to take them to the all-you-can-eat pancake restaurant. Mommy, mommy, please, please, please eat at all-you-can-eat pancakes restaurant. So finally, the whole family had lunch at the pancake restaurant. My children were so excited. Their eyes were left and right, and especially my eldest one. He is the most excited one. He is stocky, plump, and ate a lot. And he thought this is the opportunity to have all-you-can-eat pancakes. He ate a lot since the day he was born, so that's why he is big and fat. We sat in the booth and ordered our pancakes. They are on a high stacks of pancakes for all of us. About 3 pancakes for each person. So since my eldest son ate a lot and he was in a growing phase, he wanted more pancakes because this is all you can eat pancakes, right? So he called the waiter. Can I have more pancakes, please? And the waiter said, that's all you can eat. So our understanding and the restaurant understanding of all you can eat was different. Our understanding that all you can eat means that we can eat until we are full and we can order for more. But the restaurant understanding was they provide lots of pancakes, which is enough for one person, and that's all you can eat. So my son was quite disappointed because he really think and dream of this having all you can eat pancakes. And we all laugh about it. What a cultural difference in the meaning of the all you can eat. But of course, we never come back to the restaurant because we felt that the restaurant put a gimmick to lure the customer in. We learned a lesson though. Always ask and clarify what all you can eat mean when you are in a new country or in a new place. But that's the only occasion that we had this misunderstanding of all you can eat. We had been traveling to many countries, especially the USA. All you can eat means you can eat until you're full and you can ask for more. So when you travel to a new place or a new country, ask for clarification what all you can eat mean to avoid misunderstanding. Enjoy your all you can eat meal. Back to Tom.
Thank you. I think you got cheated. No, not cheated, trick. All you can eat. Yeah, that's all you can eat. You cannot add more. That's very good. Very, very funny. Okay, thank you very much. It's very entertaining speech. Now, we are moving into the main entry, which is the education session about coffee, especially specialty coffee, which will be presented by Chef Michael Iskandar. But before we start, let me read out her list of portfolio. Okay, Michael, Chef Michael, He studied in Australia from 2006 to 2011, graduated from Le Cordon Bleu, Australia. He got kitchen training in commercial cookery and patisserie, bachelor's business in international restaurant management. From 2013 to present, he is an international licensed Q, what is Q? Arabica grader. In 2014 to present, founder of Afaba Coffee Roastery, Jakarta. 2015, Indonesian Barista Championship Judge, and also Indonesia Brewers Championship Judge. 2017 to present, International License Q, Robusta Grader. 2018, Indonesian Roasting Championship Judge. Roasting. This is not the same as in stand-up comedy. Roasting is different.
No, that's different.
2019 Indonesian Roasting Championship Committee. So today, Chef Michael will talk about recipes of specialty coffee. Specialty coffee is a term for highest grade coffee. So everybody enjoy good grade coffee. And what happens if the coffee suddenly disappears? So ladies and gentlemen, let's give big round of applause to Chef Michael.
Thank you, Pa Erlan and fellow friends in Toastmaster community. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, now we are going to discuss this topic, the most controversial topic in my opinion, because it can be a statement or questions depending on you. Now the background is already explained by Pa Arlan. This is actually the brief experience, not all of them, but it's already explained by Pa Arlan. So let's continue. First of all, what is specialty coffee? This is actually the most asked questions from all people around the world. What is the difference between the commercial one and the specialty coffee? So this is actually basically specialty means the top grade of coffee production level. We do differentiate it by the defect counts and grading, which is, I will explain it to you in the next slides. When we do harvesting the cherry, we do selective cherry picking, so the stalks is not destroyed because of the rough movement and so on. So it has to be very selective, very tender, loving care also. For the green beans, we do have to sort them up also between the perfect shape, the perfect condition also, and also the defects. So we do taking in only the perfect beans, which is, I will show it to you in the next slide. And also the roasted beans quality, we actually taking out the color differences because we just want to have the perfect even color in the specialty coffee. And for the coffee people, actually, we do score the specialty coffee a minimum of 80 out of 100. Okay. This is actually the example of perfect specialty grade. As you can see in here, the shape, the sizes, the color are actually evenly distributed of all beans. This is actually, we call it as a parchment above 150 degrees. When we roast these beans, is actually released and we left with a beautiful coffee, roasted coffee. In here, this is actually what we want as the specialty grade. Compare with this one, this is actually the major defect. As you can see, this is actually the fungus and severe insect damage. In here, you can see the greenish color is actually get eaten by the mold, the fungus. And also in here, the beaten one is get beaten also by the severe insect damage. This is actually the major defects in coffee industries. In here also, you can see in the instant coffee, because of the cheap price, everything, the defects, the good coffee, the green beans, we call it green beans, the raw one, is put it in. So we can mix it with all kinds of flavor. So this is actually the difference between specialty and commercial grade. In here also, this is the illustration of specialty coffee position. In here, below here, this is what we call as commercial one. And in here, only top 5% from the whole total production in the world. The cup of excellence actually even rarer from the specialty, because the cup of excellence actually only 1% from the total of specialty production. The finest in here, we can understand this one by the name of geisha coffee. This is actually $100 cup of coffee, perhaps. Compared with the specialty coffee, it's actually, as I mentioned before, this is actually the minimum of 80 points out of 100. The cup of excellence, actually minimum of 86. Okay, this is actually a brief explanation about how to process the coffee from the plantation into, in front of you, the cup of coffee. We have a planting the tree, the coffee tree. And after 3 months, 6 months, if the plantation is ready, we do harvest the ripe cherry only by hand pick, as I mentioned before, by the farmer. And then the farmer actually sending to the processor to process coffee, and then resulting a great green coffee beans. And then they store it for them to be sold by green beans buyer. And the green beans buyer actually sell it to the roaster, and the roaster, like me, actually sell it to the barista or the coffee owner. And then voila, the barista is brewing a cup of joe for you in front of you. I apologize. Okay, in order to make the specialty coffee happen, there are several critical factors, or maybe even more. We're going to discuss some of that in here. The first one is climate control. The cherry tree, the coffee plantation, needs to be grown in subtropical regions from the equator. That's about 25 degrees north and 25 degrees south. Between ranging, the temperature is 16 degrees to 24 degrees. A cooler climate is needed for cherry to develop slower ripeness, so it's enhanced the sweetness, the flavor notes also. Too hot, the temperature, the cherry will develop way too fast, resulting watery flavor. Too cold, the cherry will be freeze burn. The moisture, after we do process the coffee, it has to be maintained between 10 to 12%. We do measure it, the moisture, by the moisture meter, we call it. If it's too dry, the embryo in the coffee itself is going to be dead. For example, below 8%. If it's too wet, it can cancer possibilities because of the bacteria growth. For example, like about 17 or 20% by the moisture meter. And the storage area also in here, it has to be away from the moisture, as we discussed previously, the sunlight. So therefore, the sunlight actually is not producing any kind of heat because that's actually the enemy for the coffee. And the last one, in my opinion, is regeneration plantation. After the tree actually having a 15 to 20 years of production, it has to be regeneration because of the new enzyme can be produced by the plant for new life, for the better result in harvesting for next year. Okay. However, in the real situation, in this current moment, it is hard to maintain the quality of specialty coffee because it's so depending on good climate. Nowadays, the global climate changes and cannot be predicted. The global warming alert is already happening, especially in Colombia. I will show it to you in the video in the end of the presentation. It needs a lot of funding also for the good fertilizers, for the tree to absorb it. It costs a lot for the labor costs and the coffee equipments also, especially if the farmers don't have any equipments to help them to process the coffee. It's so difficult to instruct the farmers also to pick the cherries selectively because they have to go back and forward for about, I think it's about 10 to 15 times in a day. And the harvest moment, the harvest period, it can take up to 2 months period, if I'm not mistaken. And now the most problem one is the specialty coffee. When they actually harvest it, it's not really profitable for the farmers because higher grades equals higher wastage. Even the wastage actually is the money for them to do the commercial grades. And this problem is going to be explained also more detail in the video at the end of the presentation. The Arabica plant is more sensitive to altitudes compared with Robusta due to leaf rust disease. The video will show you what is the leaf rust disease. If the plantation actually got hit by the leaf rust disease, you have to destroy the whole tree in order to save the plantation around that infected tree. What about the market? Is the market actually understand about the specialty coffee, or the market actually understand the specialty coffee equals the hype in the country at the moment? Well, the hype shows like Instagrammable in the coffee shop. If I take this coffee beautifully in the picture and I share it to the Instagram, it will be beneficial for us because we get more followers and so on. However, the real understanding about the specialty coffee is still unknown. Do they actually really understand, especially in Indonesia? The second one, the biggest coffee products in the market is instant coffee. This is actually not only happening in Indonesia also, but it's also happening around the world, I think. How to educate the market if the instant coffee actually has a cheaper price? You actually mentioned the specialty coffee is much better for health and so on. However, the difficulties is in funding. We want to enjoy the coffee, but we don't want to spend fortune for the price of our cup of joe. So this is actually the ugly truth, the real problems that we face in the market. And the last one, I think this is actually happening also around the globe. Most of the coffee shops, which product actually is selling most? Is that the coffee, such as espresso, black coffee, manual brew, and so on, or other product, such as iced lychee tea, the iced tea perhaps, or even food. The nasi goreng in that cafe is so nice. I would like to go back to that coffee shop again for the nasi goreng. Seriously? We're explaining about the specialty coffee, but most of the people actually coming back to the coffee shop just because of the nasi goreng, for example. To conclude about this presentation, are the people actually enjoying the coffee or other products? If they actually really enjoying about the specialty coffee, is that because of the hype, like Instagrammable photos, or the real flavor inside of the coffee? In here, in this moment, the global coffee crisis is nowadays is hitting us at the moment. And also plus the pandemic situation, the current coffee production is getting in the loss because of they cannot sell it, and also they keep storing in the long period, so therefore the quality is going down. If the global coffee crisis hitting us in the next 30 to 50 years, it will be a short of production in the coffee industries. If there is a short production, equals scarce product. Would you pay for the $100 or even more for your cup of joe because of the global coffee warming also? And the last one is this actually closer to the end of specialty coffee era? We're not talking about only the specialty, but also the whole total production in the coffee industry. If there is no coffee industries, how do we produce the specialty coffee? This is really the end, or do we have to be prepared for the global coffee crisis because of the global warming? Okay, this is actually the video that is actually shown in Colombia at the moment, and the coffee tree actually destroyed by the global warming. Please have a look.
This is one of the most popular plants in the world. It takes about 3 to 4 years to grow before producing berries, which are picked, washed, pulped, dried, and roasted to make coffee. The world consumes about 500 billion cups of it every year, and it's grown by millions of farmers across Latin America, Africa, and Asia. But there's a crisis on the horizon. This is the only area where the coffee plant can grow, and as man-made climate change warms the planet, it's shrinking. Here in Colombia, one of the biggest coffee producers in the world, the impact of that crisis can already be felt.
Unos 15 años, la producción bajó enormemente. El año pasado fue una producción súper bajita.
No, pues, y todos estos factores que la caficultura se viene a menos, esa cultura del cafetero va a ser un recuerdo.
There are over 100 species of coffee plant. The vast majority occur in the wild, while a few are cultivated on a farm, 2 of which are by far the most common. Robusta coffee has a bitter taste and is used to make espresso and roasted coffee. Arabica coffee is the good stuff. It has a smooth and mild taste and is used for high-quality coffee. Both species require specific conditions to grow, but Arabica is particularly sensitive. The plant needs temperatures between 18 and 21 degrees Celsius. Too hot and the berries won't grow correctly. Too cold and they can freeze. It also needs a specific amount of rain, preferably with a 3-month dry season to flower. And crucially, it needs warm days and cool nights, so it grows best at a certain elevation. Altogether, that means that Arabica grows best between these latitudes. If we were to create a perfect place for it, it would look a lot like Colombia, specifically the zona cafetera, Colombia's coffee region.
Toda la variedad de climas. Aquí tenemos aguas, tenemos fríos, tenemos calores por el sol.
The coffee farmers grow and process it all by hand here, which is why Colombian coffee has been considered the best in the world for over a century.
Lo amamos porque dentro de ello nacimos, con eso nos levantaron.
Quizá a mí me hicieron debajo de un palo de café, yo no sé. Tal vez. Soy muy enamorada del café. He incursionado en el café tostado. Yo lo proceso, lo tuesto, lo vendo tostado. Eso es todo un arte. Se volvió un arte.
But the zona cafetera is also where climate change is already taking a toll. Greenhouse gas emissions have warmed the region by 1.2 degrees Celsius since 1980. That's enough to push the coffee higher up the mountain, leaving the plants down here to overheat and produce lower quality beans. That's what's happened here. It's at a low elevation.
Hemos tenido unos calores y unos soles insoportables que no existían ahora años.
The warmer climate is also ideal for pests and fungi. Up the slope, some coffee plants at the Santa Fe farm are afflicted with a fungus called coffee rust.
Es un polvillo amarillo, es un honguito que se va secando la hojita y se caen todas, como ves aquí no hay ramas, no hay nada.
And here at the Oasis farm, changing weather patterns have made it hard to predict the life cycle of the coffee plant.
Entonces ha cambiado en que ya no reconocemos con absoluta seguridad, como se hacía antes, cuándo son las lluvias, cuándo son los plenos veranos, cuándo sí es la floración. Tenemos que estar pendientes de la floración cambió, y eso gracias a qué, al cambio climático.
Since 2013, the amount of land used to grow coffee in Colombia has fallen by more than 7%, and scientists expect things to get worse. The zona cafetera is projected to warm by 0.3 degrees per decade and see more extreme weather. In fact, coffee-growing regions everywhere are going to be affected. A recent study estimates that by 2050, the amount of land that can sustain coffee cultivation will be reduced by 50%. And it's not just cultivated coffee. Another study estimates that 60% of wild coffee species could be at the risk of extinction because of climate change. Some of these are used to breed more resistant varieties of Arabica, which makes them critical to sustaining coffee production. That's not only bad news for the plant, but also for those who have relied on the coffee industry for generations. In the early 20th century, Americans and Europeans were buying more and more coffee.
We Americans know what we like, and we really do like coffee. Did I say like? Well, we use more than 3 million pounds of coffee every year.
So prices were high, and that created a boom in coffee-producing countries.
Where does it all come from? Mostly from South America. So let's fly down and get the story firsthand.
Colombia was the second biggest producer in the world at the time. It was mostly grown on large coffee plantations called haciendas that dated back to when Colombia was a Spanish colony. The work was done by peasants, indigenous people, and former slaves, many of whom were forced off their lands and subjected to brutal conditions. The plantations were profitable while prices were high, but in 1929, the U.S. economy crashed. Demand for coffee fell, and so did the price, bankrupting the plantations. Colombia's entire coffee industry would vanish, the government stepped in. They purchased these large coffee fields from the owners. Many had more than 1,000 hectares, about the size of 1,800 football fields. And they broke them up into small plots of about 16 hectares each before selling them to laborers. The idea was that these small farms could grow other crops alongside coffee to sustain themselves through price fluctuations. This not only saved one of Colombia's most important industries, but turned it into one dominated by smallholder farmers.
Quienes vivimos aquí, como yo que he vivido toda la vida aquí, hemos vivido bajo los influjos de los ritmos que genera la actividad económica del café.
To support the industry in 1927, the government had created Fede Café, an agency that would organize and represent the farmers by negotiating fair prices and favorable deals with other countries. The most important one was in 1962, when Colombia signed the International Coffee Agreement with 69 other countries and set a price minimum for export. As coffee prices recovered, Colombia's smallholder coffee farmers started thriving.
Todo el mundo aquí tenía una casa en un pueblo y una finca. Y todos teníamos que ver con el café.
Recordemos que la caficultura sostuvo económicamente el país por muchos años. Recordemos que la caficultura tuvo haces, tuvo flota mercantera colombiana, tuvo edificios, tuvo muchas cosas. Éramos los ricos del país y del mundo, porque se manejaba un muy buen precio.
By the 1970s, Colombia was using the coffee farmer, or cafetero, as a marketing tool around the world.
It is here that they buy their coffee. Coffee grown by men like Juan Valdez. Because for Colombians, their coffee is more than just the richest coffee in the world. It is a national heritage.
Today, Colombia is the world's third largest coffee exporter, and there are about 500,000 mostly small farms that make up the industry. But just as these farmers are starting to face climate change, the economics that support them are disappearing. There are several ways farmers can protect their coffee plants from the effects of climate change. Shade trees keep the plants cool and stabilize the soil. Farmers can move their crop uphill, where it's cooler. They can also switch to more resistant varieties of coffee plants. The problem is all these solutions cost money that many smallholder farmers don't have.
15, 20 años para atrás, todo el mundo por aquí sembramos café. Sembrando el café hoy en día, lo sembramos a pérdida.
It started in the 1980s when the coffee agreement fell apart along with the price limit. Since then, more countries, especially some in Asia, have increasingly flooded the market with cheap coffee. It sparked a crisis around 2009 when extreme weather and coffee rust decimated Colombia's crop. Production fell to its lowest levels in decades. And demanded that the government provide them with more financial support and establish a reasonable price minimum. The government increased subsidies to coffee growers, but without another international coffee agreement, a return to a price minimum was no longer possible. So coffee prices continue to fluctuate. Today, it's below what many farmers need to break even. That's why it's so hard for these farmers to adapt to climate change.
Para eso se necesitan recursos. Además, tú tienes la tierra aquí, eso se te calentó, ya no funciona bien. ¿Qué vas a hacer? ¿Qué vas a hacer? No tienes como comprar tierra en otra parte o algo así, estás frito.
Y ahora están desesperados porque volvamos a sembrar y volvamos a tener sombrío. Pero eso, hoy por hoy, a los costos de hoy, es muy difícil para un agricultor ir sembrando estas torradas.
It's forced many farmers in the zona cafetera to replace coffee with other crops.
Empecé a cultivar plátano en una vaina que lo llamamos aquí un cultivo intensivo de plátano.
Entonces, los cultivadores somos los que recibimos la menor remuneración. Entonces, la gente se cansa. O sea, yo soy enamorada de la tierra y puedo aguantar de alguna manera, ¿cierto? Pero hay gente que tiene sus hijos, tiene otros, o sea, tiene muchas responsabilidades.
And it's not just a problem in Colombia. 80% of the world's coffee is grown by 25 million smallholder farmers, many living in poverty. From Central America to Africa to Asia, climate change is making it harder for them to grow coffee. Unless the price of coffee rises again and farmers have the financial means to cope with climate change, small farms everywhere will continue to be at risk of losing their livelihoods. And in the zona cafetera, that could spell the end of an entire culture built around coffee.
Esos somos quienes hemos vivido toda la vida aquí y bueno, hemos tenido la oportunidad de conocer profundamente el fenómeno del café.
Okay, how do we... Okay, in the end, what do you think, guys, about the global coffee crisis and global warming? Should we act now or just leave the coffee plantation to be a history in the future? What do you think? I leave that for you to answer it. Thank you for listening, and back to you, Pak Alan.
Thank you very much, Michael, Chef Michael. It was very insightful, and I never realized how long is the process from harvesting, drying, packing, blending, roasting, until it goes to the international transport, and goes to your cup of tea, a cup of coffee.
Yes.
And global warming has a very strong impact on the coffee production. So I think to grow coffee properly, you must have right temperature, right light, right moisture, everything has to be right. Yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Well, that's why when temperature is rising, the farmer has to go to higher place to buy another piece of land. Can't afford to do that. So that's why the growing area is getting less and less. So if we don't act, you're right. In the next 30, 40 years, there's no more coffee. So ladies and gentlemen, perhaps you have questions. You can raise your question. Can you take any question, Michael?
Yes, I take questions too.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So earlier, like you mentioned about the cup of excellence and specialty coffee, like specifically, like is there any cup of excellence or like specialty coffee like made for us, or is it like only graded in like several competitions, so only judges can actually taste and like grade them?
Thank you for the questions. The specialty coffees actually sell by most of the coffee shops around in Indonesia. They label it as a specialty coffee. Nowadays, you can buy it from them, from the roastery. And the cup of excellence, we do have only 2 times in Asian countries, especially in Indonesia. We do have only 1 time in Gayo Takengon back in 2019. And in this time to 2021, we're going to do another cup of excellence in Bandung. I think it's about the end of this year also. If you actually want to try the cup of excellence, you can actually bidding the coffee in Bandung later on.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That sounds like Janet. Janet is our Givalier Club, but she's going to be our Toastmasters starting 1st of April. All right, anybody else?
There are two, Sume and Diana, raising their hand.
Okay, Sumai, and after that, Diana.
So there are some concerns about instant coffee.
Your voice is too soft.
Sorry. Oh, okay. I have a question about specialty coffee, but in form of pods, if that's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. I've read things about how people actually do coffee, like the 360 process, like the what's it called? The one with the funnel, and then the one with the siphon. There are lots of ways, but in my opinion, when it comes to like most people how they treat their coffee, sometimes the most accessible one is the easiest one, right? So usually we have something like a mix of commercial coffees, kind of like this, but usually it's currently trending in something like this. Now the question is, for specialty coffee, yes?
Carry on, please.
Oh, so the question is, to keep it sustainable, is it possible for specialty coffee to be in this form, in something easy, but not as it doesn't produce as much garbage as something like this, for example?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the questions. Great questions, to be honest. We do have the R&D, the specialty coffee input into the pots for the market to easier brewing it. However, in the specialty area, when you actually grind the coffee, you already lose for about 50% if you left it out for about 15 minutes. The problem about the pot is you have to brew it and then you have to concentrate it and then you put it back in the pot again. So in the end, if we discuss it about the specialty, we want to preserve the real flavor, not oxidize it. But because of the long process of the put it into the pot, so I don't think most of the company actually doing at the moment and resulting a good result. The best way, in my opinion, about specialty coffee is doing it by two-brew. The two-brew is the most honest coffee because it's less processed compared with if we brew it like with siphon, V60, flat bottom, and so on and so on. That is actually the easiest way. The problem about the two-brew is you have lots of sediment at the bottom of the glasses. That's the problem, the only problem. The rest of it, the flavor will be resulting a great coffee, in my opinion. Thank you.
So what you're suggesting is not to put it in form of something like a pot, which is already grinded, but you make your own tubruk at your home, just using the dried beans, yes?
Yes, you grind the coffee and then you left with coffee grounds and then just put it simply hot water. Don't stir it. When
Okay,
there
do not
is
stir.
you actually steep it for about, I think it's about 4 to 5 minutes, and then you just push the crust on top of it, and then the crust actually just sinking. You blow the smokes and so on, then you can enjoy it. That is actually the flavor, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the inputs.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions? It seems that the next person who questions it just left. So we are still open for one more. We still have time. Two more.
I think Dina is here.
It's okay. I think now the time is exactly 27. So thank you very much, Chef Michael. That was very insightful. We learned a lot from you. And ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Chef Michael. But before you leave, we'd like to take a picture and give you some certificate, perhaps. Certificate of appreciation to Chef Michael.
Thank you.
For the insightful presentation. Very interesting. Now we like to take picture.
Renal, please take picture. Toastmaster Renal. Yes, sir. We still share screen. Okay.
Yeah, please switch on your video, please.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, it's done.
Done? All right.
Yeah, it's done.
Thank you very much. Now we like to move on to the next session, which is very interesting, the table topic session, which will be led by Toastmaster Yenny Mok. So all yours, Yenny.
Thank you to our Mr. Tom. I think everybody already get very well known about the coffee. I used to drink coffee also a lot. I just know that make a cup of coffee is very, very hard. Okay, now I would like to share my screen. Oh. Okay, welcome to Empire Toastmaster Club. Coffee sustainability. Okay. Did anybody want to become the first? The volunteer, maybe? Anybody? If no, we will play games. Okay, everybody, could you please type on the text box odd or even? Okay? Okay, when you're already done, pick the odd or even, times it with 3. Oh, there are no one. Okay, so I just give the change the first for Diana. Okay, our first question. So I just want to remind it first that our word of the day is to sustain. Cigarette and coffee and alcoholic best friends. Cigarettes and coffee and alcoholic best friends. Diana, the screen is yours.
You took good, Diana. Keep going. It's okay. We know that you love coffee. Continue, please. The coffee is very good. We know that. Great. Keep going. It's still 1 minute. You are happy. We are happy that you like coffee too.
Yay!
Yay! It's 1 minute. It's green. Thank you, Diana. Applause. Thank you, Diana.
Very good.
Okay, it's yellow now, and time for the rest, Diana. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good, Diana. Okay, we have the second volunteer is Toastmaster Renaud. Is it Toastmaster? Is he Toastmaster? Yes. Okay. So our second question is, humanity runs on coffee. Okay. Humanity runs on coffee.
All right.
Toastmaster Renaud, the screen is yours.
Okay. The
as a human on the earth, we all know that human, one of the organism on the earth that having a high intelligence. So that's why as a human, we have humanity. And humanity, how we make a connection between each other and make some community become a big community, like a country and nowadays. And before, maybe some kingdoms. And I think that humanity can bring someone to more realize their opportunity or their thinking about some of the problem around the world. And when people want to think about their problem, they need some drink to make their mind keep going. And coffee is the one of the solution. Coffee make a mind in a human still thinking when even though the body is so tired. Coffee make humanity increase than before, and coffee can make the community more connection. I believe that coffee, okay, thank you, it's already read.
I believe if already read, if you still want to talk, just it's okay. Just let us know that what you want to talk about. It's okay. We all support you. Okay. Toastmaster Renald. Now we go to number 3. Okay, Janet. Oh, it's a Janet. You like to drink coffee also?
I wish I could without having to not be able to fall asleep for 4 days.
I wish I could back drink coffee if my stomach can receive it already. Okay. Now our third question is: he was my cream, and I was his coffee. He was my cream, and I was his.
Wait, can you show me the? Can you like repeat the question or the statement again? Wait. Okay. Give me time to think for a bit. Okay, I'm gonna start. Who's the timer so I can pin? Oh, okay. I think this statement could only apply to a special group of people. However, those kinds of people are not me. Some people prefer their coffee with just coffee. Some people prefer their coffee without creamer. Some people prefer their coffee without any sugar even. So if you were to try to kind of like romanticize like coffee and how it has to be with creamer, it wouldn't really work for everyone. As of course, this is more to a personal statement. People who believe that cream goes with coffee, sure, they can have their own preferences. However, I believe that, again, this doesn't really work for much people. Wait, this is the first time I actually froze. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you. I'm not really that good at making like statements about these kinds of things. Sorry.
There will be always the first time, and then you become addicted, and become the second time, the third time, and then so on, so on, so on. Like every one of us at Toastmaster, they're very like table topic session. So I'm very happy if I become table topic master. Yes, I'm the master. Yay! Ha, 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 ha. Okay, now is our fourth. The fourth volunteer is Peter Ang. Is it Toastmaster? Is he Toastmaster?
About to.
I know.
About to be.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Petrang.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Almost.
Are you ready?
Almost with Pak Arlan guidance.
Are you ready?
Ready, not ready, must be ready.
Yeah. There's Toastmaster title also, yeah.
Yeah, because Pak Arlan was me.
Okay. Our fourth question is coffee, because it's too early for wine. Coffee, because it's too early for wine. Did you drink wine?
Okay. I not really drink both coffee, also wine. Start now.
Yes, yes. Sir.
Okay.
When you are ready.
Yes. Coffee is too early before wine. I think like when you said last Yenny that when the first time, second time, and third time, then you addicted the speech. This is the third time I talk about coffee is too early before wine. I think both of them, both coffee and wine, both of them can really make people addicted because of the caffeine and alcohol. Same like this, when you talk about speech in here, first time, second time, third time, and then you're gonna be addicted. That is same like the coffee and wine, both of them, and also I make it the speech. This is also can make people addicted. So I must push myself to. Sorry, this is my daughter. My daughter too also can make me addicted too. Yes, and I'm joined this Toastmaster because of Pak Arlan. Pak Arlan make me addicted to talk in here. Thank you, Pak Arlan. Back to you, Toastmaster.
You addicted with Toastmaster vision and mission. Don't addicted with Pak Arlan. Pak Arlan already become Bro Arlan. If this is really your first time, you're already standing there and you can deliver the short speech with your kids keep on picking over there. It's very great already.
Yeah, yesterday I also saw your debate is very great. You debate about.
Oh my God.
I saw you. Wow, very so awesome with you.
No, I just bubbling out that time, just in a bit. Oh my goodness. Okay.
You also make me addicted like coffee and wine.
Oh, thank you. I thought today I'll become the roasting one, but now you make me become the roast person. Okay, that's what we must say, that you must believe of karma, yeah. Because usually I just roasting Toastmaster Elias, and today I got it roasting there. Okay.
Together we roast each other.
Okay. No, we must go. We must go to next session. Yes.
Table topic master.
Yes.
We like to acknowledge the presence of Division Governor, Director from Brunei. Toastmaster Ling Ling.
Oh, Toastmaster Ling Ling.
You want to try
correction,
to...
Pak Arlan, incoming.
Incoming.
Coming. Yeah.
Incoming.
Toastmaster Ling Ling, do you want to try our table topic session? Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
good.
You must say yes. You must say yes. Okay. I
Unmute,
start.
unmute your speaker, Ling Ling.
Okay. Ling
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Ling, your name's similar like my mom name. My mom also called Ling Ling. Okay, next question. I will start working when my coffee does. I will start working when my coffee does. This
Okay. Is it my turn now? Oh.
Ling Ling. Ling Ling.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you will be after this.
Sometimes when people get up in the morning, they have a certain routine they have to go through. You get up, you rub your eyes, you brush your teeth, you check your phone, and you get a shower. And then sometimes you take your morning cup of coffee. But sometimes something will disrupt your routine. For example, your coffee machine isn't working. And then suddenly what happens? Because your day is suddenly disrupted. You can't get on because you've got your step 1, 2, 3, and suddenly step 4 is missing. Sometimes I feel that we have a certain expectation or certain plan to go on in our lives. And sometimes plans don't come to fruition. Sometimes plans go awry. Sometimes plans don't happen like the way we expect them to. And that's life, because we have to prepare for the unexpected. Because the unexpected will happen whether you like it or not. Murphy's laws say that what will happen regardless of whether you want it to or not, or whether you think it will or not. And that's life. That's just life. You never know when something happens in your day that you didn't expect that would just mess up your whole day. But one of my favorite quotes is that, did you have a bad 5 minutes? Or did you have a bad 5 minutes that you thought about all day and made your day horrible? So I feel like a good attitude in life is what makes the difference between you having a good day or a bad day. Sometimes life just has to go on and you have to go along with it. So don't think about your bad plans or your bad steps that didn't come to happen. Think about what you want to do with your day and how you want to take it. Because sometimes life is all about perspective. And a good perspective can make a good life. Thank you, and back to you.
Wow, a good life. It's very great. I think that I got insight here. Good life. Coffee and then become good life. Very great. Okay, next. Excuse me, Sume. Sume, is it correct?
Yes.
The way I said Sume, is it Toastmaster or not?
Yeah.
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 Toastmaster Sume.
Yeah. You can just call me Sume. It's fine.
Okay, Sume or Sumedo or what?
Well, actually, it's kind of surprising that the first time you said it, it's correct.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
So yeah.
Okay, Toastmaster Sume, I want to apologize. Even that you already write your name there, you are the number 5th, and then suddenly they have Ling Ling. So you must select the lady first. That's why. Just now, I just give the offer to
no, it's fine.
Toastmaster Ling Ling. Yeah, and because I'm also a woman always right. So just now it's your turn. Okay. Okay, are you ready?
Definitely not. So.
Oh,
yeah.
not okay. Just goodbye then. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
Okay, next is three cups of coffee a day. Coffee a day keeps the doctor away. Yes.
Okay.
3 cups of coffee a day keeps the doctor away.
Any kind of speech is fine, right? Any kind of speech is fine, right?
Any kind.
Okay.
As long as polite. And mostly if you can make Toastmaster Elias keep on laughing at there, yeah, he's very happy.
Oh, that's a problem, my humor. It's
Okay.
not that kind. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll start, right?
Yes.
Okay. So like when most people think about going into the doctor, most people always remember the quote, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." But if you are asking me, 3 cups of coffee a day keeps the doctor away? Well, there are several points there, because first, coffee is high in antioxidants. That way, your body can actually improve, like from immunity-wise, from making the cancer cells or something, and then also improves your circulation, metabolism, and so on. So coffee overall, indeed, is a good thing for your body. However, if you're asking me like 3 cups a day, well, some people can take it, some people cannot take it. Let's say if the metabolism is a bit slow, basically you will be running high on caffeine, especially if you are the kind of people who have no idea about digestive cookies, something like this. Usually when people are drinking coffee, when they drink 3 cups of coffee, they forget something called digestives. So basically what you're looking is something to help your body to digest the coffee inside your intestines. So you need something with a graham cracker, kind of specific kind of wheat. And then you need something a bit coarse, and just add a little bit of sugar. It will improve your digestion. And what else? Oh, there's something interesting about coffee and the body, which is when we are talking about coffee, there is a certain kind of function, which is improving your cleansing of your body. Most people have problems with their intestines, so yeah, it gets spicy. But if you're talking about like most people who usually eat something that is a bit too oily, something that has less fibers and so on, yes, indeed, 3 cups of coffee a day helps you to keep you from the doctors. Thank you. That is not good. Okay. Wow. Yes.
You know, over there, I saw from my screen, our education session just now before, Michael Iskandar said, wow, I have a new student already, yay. I'm great, teacher. Okay, very great. Yes, but so sorry, this is the last question. Actually, I prepared egg.
Oh.
Because the time already is back to our Tom. Okay, I will hand it back to our Tom. Thank you for the chance to become table topic master.
Thank you very much, table topic master. That was very interesting. Lots of good questions and lots of table topic speakers. All right, now we are just 2 minutes behind schedule. And before we move on to the evaluation session, I just want to check with the timers whether all the table topic speakers and the prepared speech speakers are qualified. So maybe.
Yes, Pak Arlan. Titin and Rona, Toastmaster Titin and Toastmaster Rona, both are eligible.
Eligible.
And then for table topic speakers, all are eligible. Jeanette is 55 seconds, but in terms of, as far as I know, 30 seconds is okay. When there is a things that 30 seconds. So as a timer, I will say all are eligible. Back to you, Pak.
Thank you very much, timer. And now we like to move on to the evaluation sessions. So for that, we like to call upon our general evaluator, Toastmaster Eddie.
Thank you very much to them, Arlan, as our Tom tonight. So now let's move on to our general evaluation section here. So I'm going to divide it into 2. The first is evaluation section, and the second is going to be overall evaluation. Without further ado, let's move on to our evaluation section. So let's move on to the first speaker, I will call our evaluator Toastmaster Elios to evaluate Toastmaster Titingningsi as our first speaker. Toastmaster Elios, the screen is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Empire Toastmasters Club. And you just witnessed our very first speaker, Titingningsi. She just finished her very first speech after icebreaker. So everyone, let's give a big applause for her. And Titin, you already finished your purposes. You already have 2 boxes ticked there. And yes, congratulations for that. And let me use your name as your part of the evaluation. T, I, T, I, and N. For the first T, it is the magic number of greatness. That's a very great topic, and also the title. I read the book, and this book changed my life. And yes, this speech also changed my perspective that I should keep on practicing. And that's how we are accumulating our hours. And since I'm a perfection person, I aim for the excellence, like in Toastmaster core value. And for the I, interesting topic that you choose. Great. That's a very nice attention grabber. Once you deliver a nice topic, people will love to hear your speech. And then for the T, the uses of background, it is clash with your props. So better next time, when you see you have the chance to deliver a speech, you can try. Maybe before the meeting. Since we have to open the meeting 30 minutes before, that's the best time to test your sites. And then also for the eye contact, I see that your eyes is not really focused on the camera. Sometimes it goes there in the right, sometimes you are moving like you are thinking, usually looking out above, or you're not really focused on the camera. So I cannot really get the engage with you as the audience. And then you should need to adjust your camera level so we can see your full head. It seems that we already have your head cut there. And also for the eye, you improve a lot than your icebreaker speech. So that's a very great movement that you made there. You increase step by step. That's also good. Remember, we need to achieve certain level, but we need to move step by step. And for the last N, you need to slow down the hand gesture. There, your hand gesture is too much, too fast. It's basically like you are Spider-Man. No, you are not Spider-Man. You are our first speaker. Thank you. That's all for my explanation. Back to you, Chi.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Elios. Now let's move on to the second evaluator, Toastmaster Surya, to evaluate Bu Ronawati as the second speaker.
Thank you, Mr. GE, Toastmaster AD. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Toastmaster Ronawati for successfully delivering her speech, engaging humor, and it really worked. And everyone enjoyed that, I believe. I enjoyed that, and I believe that everyone enjoyed that. The first thing that I like from her speech is her use of story. Story is so powerful to help you connect with the audience, because stories are something that people can relate. And using story alone is so powerful. Using dialogues in the story is even more powerful. Dialogue makes the story more real. When she said that, "Mommy, mommy, can I have more pancake?" It's like real. It's like watching movie. And then the dialogue between you and the waiter also helps the audience to picture in their mind, about the scene in the story. It's very powerful. It's a smart decision to use the dialogue in the story. And then your generous gestures are something that I also appreciate. And then your decision to stand up instead of sitting is also perfect, because that way you can express your voice, your thoughts, your everything that is happening in the story. So it was good. And then your comfort level is also perfect. I didn't see nervousness. I didn't see clumsiness in the way you do your presentation, because this is important. Your comfort level is very important when giving a humorous presentation. No matter how humorous, funny your story is, how your content is, if you not comfortable, confident with delivering it, your humor will be useless. It was good. Then my recommendation is perhaps you can use some more. Okay, your story was funny, but it was only at the end of the presentation when we heard the punchline that all you can eat is actually something that we perceive differently. Maybe you can sprinkle some more humor, some more jokes in the entire of the presentation by giving simple jokes, like mentioning three things. Mentioning three things. The first two things are the setup, and the last one is the punchline. For example, when you mention about the place, okay, the place was nice, the place was beautiful, and it was expensive. But the expensive thing is the funny thing. It's different from the previous ones. Or you can say, my children enjoy the moments, they play a lot, and they eat a lot. They eat a lot is the punchline that makes it more humorous. Okay, that's all. All in all, it was perfect, and congratulations. Can't wait to hear your next speech. Thank you. Back to G.
Thank you very much for Toastmaster Surya evaluating Ronawati. Before I started to general evaluation, let's ask for our timer. Are eligible for the speaker to be voted?
I'm sorry to say that only Elios is eligible because Surya is 3 minutes 45. But we will say there is no mistake. We are all just in learning process. Next time, Surya, go, go, go. Thank you, GE.
Thank you very much. Now let's move on to our grammarian to report the presentation. So our grammarian, DTM, Moses Ricardi, the screen is yours.
Thank you for the time. I just finished wrapping it up. What I can conclude is, again, I'm very happy today I'm a grammarian. It's like recalling me back how to be a grammarian, since I'm not really active, sorry to say, I'm an active member, but I'm not really active in any meeting. So yes, congratulations for all of you, for the speakers. I believe you enjoy your speeches, and then I believe you made it as natural as possible, which is very good. So you can enjoy whatever you want to express to other people. One thing that I would like to remind myself and to you all, that English here that we use is as a communication. So in this case, as long as what we want to share with other people, we can manage to deliver it, so all is done. And then one thing that I noticed also, since I've been in Malaysia for 3 years, and especially now, almost 2 years I'm in Miri, which the community, most of them are Chinese, like seriously Chinese, not Indonesian Chinese, not even the Medan Chinese. What I'm saying is they really do speak Chinese with the accent of Chinese. And then they are also working very hard to pronounce the English, which is actually, it's not as hard as we do as like me. You see, my English sounds like Surabaya, not like the English, like Palan English, for example, is already UK English. So this is this is what I see and I enjoy. Oh, you know, tonight I feel like I'm really in Surabaya now with, you know, hearing how you express yourself in English. It's like, oh, this is my community, different from Miri people. But anyway, congratulations. I noticed only like few things to improve, as English is not even our second language, it's a foreign language. So I do understand the changes of, you know, the use of S, the sounds for plural, for example, like glass, glasses, or computer, computers, something like that. I understand you didn't mean to make mistakes, but sometimes we just miss out to pronounce it. Like Toastmaster, we are not Toastmaster, we are Toastmasters. Even for singular, we use behind the Toastmaster word. It's one word, Toastmasters. I'm a Toastmasters. It doesn't mean that this is plural, but this is a name of Toastmasters. And then for the third person also, sometimes we miss out to say, it says, instead of saying, it says, we say, it says, or he say, something like that. But this is only need practice. Again, as the first speaker mentioned, practice. It's okay. And then again, about the tenses, present tense, past tense. I'm also struggling with this sometimes when I start telling stories. Sometimes the stories was in the past, we miss out to say it in the present form. Like it had, or we had coffee in the morning. So if it is kind of information that we are still doing it, we are supposed to express it as we have. But if it is like, we refers to the time that is already the past, then it should be automatically changed to it had, or we had coffee. About the expression, I believe the speaker mentioned my stomach can receive it. Maybe instead of saying receive it, because this is our local language, we try to translate to English. Maybe better we say handle it. Our stomach can handle it. Instead of receive it, we use handle it. And then addicted with is supposed to be addicted to coffee. And the spelling of coffee also, it needs the two E's at the back. So double F, double E. I noticed on the table topic, I saw the coffee miss out one E. And then the last is the best sentence from our guest speaker today is, no, the best table topic speaker. Sorry, I have to underline it, is from our incoming division governor E, Lai Lingling. Was it a bad day, or was it a 5 minutes that you milk all day? So it's very good. I learned that. I'm not a coffee person, but suddenly now, oh, this must be because of the coffee. So the 5 minutes become like milk all day. So I put in my tea later. Overall, thank you very much for the opportunity again, Pak Alan, and I'm very happy to be with you. Then that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Wasis.
Back to you, G.
Thank you very much, our grammarian, DTM Wasis Sudiarti. Very complete report. Now, without further ado, let's move on to our counter, Toastmasters Arni Kusuma. Toastmaster Arni Kusuma, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Eddie. Hello again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will give my report. Unfortunately, the word of the day to sustain not mentioned during this meeting. And for the counter, TM Alan 1 TM Eddie 1 so, TM Ayu 0, TM Wasis 5 1 and 7 so. Toastmaster Rindawati 0, Toastmaster Titin 1 so, Toastmaster Elios 4 so, Toastmaster Ronawati 0, Toastmaster Surya 3 to show our guest, our speaker for educational system, Chef Michael, I mean, 1A and 3 so. Toastmaster Sumedo during question and answer for A, 6 and during table topic session 3A, 2 1 and 2 so, where Toastmaster Yeni Mok 3A, Toastmaster Renard 2, Toastmaster Diana, congratulations, 0. Toastmaster Janet 2 Toastmaster Ang 5A, and DTM Lai Ling 0. Thank you. That's all my report. Back to GE.
Yeah, thank you very much, our counter for today, Toastmaster Arni Kusuma. Now let's report for general evaluation that we have. So let's start it with what we have now. So the meeting starts at on time, as a schedule 7 o'clock. 5 minutes before 7, our SA Toastmaster Renal started to read the housekeeping rule and introducing the representative of the entire Toastmasters Club, DTM Arlan, to open the meeting. After welcoming everyone, then DTM Arlan to control as Tom, explaining the theme of the tonight and introduce the general evaluation theme. The two prepared speakers presented well-delivered speeches, bringing more valuable insights. Our Edu speaker also shared his knowledge about coffee. From this, we can learn about specialty coffee, not just a drinking. Our table topic master also used attractive slideshow. This is to engage the speakers and audiences. For me, this is very great. Our time also has successfully shown us a background color indicating the time given, while dropping messages about the time spent through chat room. So everyone can see how much time speaker has spent. Our grammarian show us how to pay attention to S and the S and also the spelling of the coffee, and make sure that we need to pay attention to this all. Overall, that's all for today. Thank you very much. Then before I give this to our Tom, then I will call our ballot counter to solve the rewarding session. Toastmaster Lindawati, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Eddie. Great job, everyone. Let's give big applause for everyone who did very well tonight for the prepared speaker, table topic, and even the evaluation session. Okay, first of all, without further ado, I would like to announce our first winner tonight, which is the prepared speaker. Our winner is, drumroll please, Toastmaster Ronawati Wongso. Let's give her a big applause, everyone. And up next, I would like to say that I'm really honored tonight because the table topic speaker was pretty close to each other. We had 3 people who had the same score, so we need a tiebreaker. And I would like to give the honor to, drumroll, our winner is Miss Janet Gloria. Let's give her a big applause. That was really awesome of her. And the last but not least, our evaluator, which we already know, our Toastmaster Ilyas Theophilus Gandawijaya. Let's give everyone big applause. We are all winner tonight, and I'm very honored to share the time with you guys. Back to you, G.
Thank you very much. Let's hands control to our com tonight, DTM Arlan. Thank you.
All right. Finally, we have come to the end of our meeting, and it was really a very, very fantastic meeting we had. We have 43 participants at the peak, and that was because of the job of many, many people. And before we leave, I'd like to say thanks to Otimo Gourmet Academy students who came here to witness the meeting. And for your information, ladies and gentlemen, there will be very soon, another Toastmasters Club. You're talking about 2 clubs, 3 clubs, 4 clubs of 10 clubs because they have 300 students. So let's see. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy the meetings and thank you very much for all the participants, and the most will be given big thanks to our guest speaker today, Chef Michael Iskandar. Please give a big round of applause. And of course, our overseas guest, number 1, Lei Ling Ling, from the incoming division director from Brunei, and DTM Wasis Sugiyarti, and also Dr. Tariq. So Dr. Tariq left already. And of course, some other guests from overseas and from Indonesia too. And there is also Aryani, who is helping us with the counter. And Yenny Mok, who is helping as table topic masters. And of course, not to forget, our strong supporter, Toastmaster Ayu, as timer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope to see you again next meeting, which will be the 16th of March. So I'd like to say goodbye to everybody and see you again in the next 2 weeks. You still can hang around here because we are having a sort of fellowship after this, a bit of chit chat. Okay, bye everyone.